Hello travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and I'm coming to you today with the general reading for the sign of Capricorn. I know that there's a few days left in the sign of Capricorn. It ends January 19th or 20th, depending on how you're reading it. But nevertheless, I thought that it would be best that I bring the monthlies to you in the middle of the month. That way we've moved through that energy over the holidays, and we're now headed back towards, so to speak, normal life. This is a general reading, and the messages will not resonate with everyone. So this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of January 2017. So we're going to go ahead and just lay a 9-card spread. I do have the Sibyllus here with me. I also have the Marseille Sibyllus, and those are oracle cards. And they also, let me grab my Endovenas right quick, as well as the angel answer cards. Now, being that this is a general reading, the messages will not resonate with everyone. In order to gain more insight into your situation, requires a personal reading. You can click on the little eye in the right hand corner of my website on the video, and that'll take you directly over to the website. I do readings 6 days a week. My turnaround time is between 48 to 72 hours. That is both for phone and video readings. You can go over and check out the prices, how it works. There is a read this first before you book underneath the tarot reading, so please do read that information first. It'll explain a lot to you. You can follow me on Twitter, on Tumblr, and I have a private Facebook group. All of those links can be found in the About box section of the channel. So if you go to About of my channel, it'll give you all the links for those things. I've been very, very busy working on some new things on the website, some new products that I wish to bring out. I'm having to do all of the work myself, so I'm learning coding and a few other things. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to be rolling that out, as well as my classes, my tarot classes. That is going to be the next thing. I'm almost done with this one project that I'm working on, get it up and running on the website, and then I will be focusing on the tarot classes. So here we go, 9 cards down. Let me put one more rifle on these, make sure that I have them the right way. This is a strange energy, and I think it has to do with the fact that for the past 2 years in a row, we started the year with the Mercury retrograde, and it's just an odd energy. Ace of Wands, 6 of Wands, 5 of Wands. Well, strange energies, as I was saying. The High Priestess, the 6 of Coins, so there's 2 sixes there, and the Ace of Swords, and 2 aces. Well, Capricorn. The 7 of Wands, the 4 of Coins, and then that ugly 7 of Swords. Underneath the deck, we have the 4 of Swords. Now, if you'll give me 1 second, I am actually missing something. Here, I'm making myself a moon journal. Let me see here. Sagittarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. Aries and Libra. Pisces and Virgo. Capricorn and Cancer. We just had a couple of a new moon, I believe it was, in Cancer, or it might have been a full moon in Cancer on the 12th. And one second here. I am missing a page. I am missing the moon in Aquarius and the moon in Leo. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because this spread ends with the Seven of Swords. Where is that page? One second. I might have just looked over it. Gemini, Sagittarius, Taurus, Scorpio, Aries and Libra, Pisces and Virgo. Here it is. The moon in Aquarius. And that is coming up on the 28th of January. Right after we have the Mercury direct shadow phase ends. Mercury actually went direct on the 9th, but there's always a 2-week period before it goes retrograde where things kind of slow down. And then after it goes retrograde, this is things taking a bit of time to actually get back to normal. Two aces, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords. So this is a new, the two aces always represent new beginnings. This could be a new beginning in the sphere of career and work for you. It could be getting a new energy. Maybe you suddenly feel like jumping up and losing 15 pounds. This could be part of your New Year's Eve's resolution, your New Year's resolution. Just new energy and fighting spirit coming in. We also have the Ace of Swords, and swords represent communications, perceptions, beliefs, ideas, thoughts. So this is new energy surrounding those things. But we see over here that the knighting, it ends in a 7 of Wands. So I have 2 6s, 2 aces, and 2 7s. And I think that's highly high, and 2 4s. So that's 4, 5, 6, and 7. Wow, one behind the other. The aces represent the number 1s, new beginnings, and then I have this high priestess here who is the number 2. She represents balance, harmony, and duality. Now, right in the center of the spread, I have the 6 of Pentacles. And this represents the moon in Taurus. Taurus is a fixed energy. It is a stubborn energy. It is a slow moving energy. And the moon simply represents those things which we need to feel comfortable, or those things that nurture us, or those things that have an emotional component to it. Now, that's our focus, the 6 of Pentacles here. And that card has to do with charities, financial flow, giving back, and the balance of give and take. I've been seeing this a lot coming up. We are in the whole year cycle of Jupiter in Libra, and Jupiter will be leaving Libra in October 2017 and moving into the sign of Scorpio. So all of you Scorpions out there, or if you know any Scorpions out there, their time is coming, and Jupiter comes in to bring you new opportunities. It is an expansive energy. It is a time of growth and abundance. So if you've been feeling stuck, we've been dealing with this Saturn and Sagittarius energy for a while. We have, I think, a year left to go. It's really, really tough. And that's kind of an odd energy because Saturn is one that is very limiting and restricting and slow. And Sagittarius is this fast moving. It deals with people and places at a distance, foreigners, higher learning, higher education, philosophies, religion, different beliefs. So they're two separate energies. Now, I'm going to give you the meaning of the repeater numbers at the end of the reading. So we have past, present, future, and of course the interplay of the cards. And what I'm looking at is that indeed for some of you Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Risings, that many of you feel a new energy coming in. And some of you have indeed, I would say, with the Six of Wands sitting next to this Ace of Wands, that it is perhaps something that you have felt stuck with, and then suddenly now we see things moving forward. And if this is the case, it says that whatever trials and tribulations or tests that you went through during that stuck phase, that you have mastered that, you have come over those obstacles and those challenges. And if that's the case, pat yourself on the back because there is a victory. Now, what we're looking at, though, coming up on the other side of this 6 is it drops back down to a 5. And the 5 of Wands is a card about having lots of things on your plate, feeling as though you don't have a whole lot of time perhaps or energy to devote to the several different things that you have going on. But it's a number 5, and fives represent outside influences, okay? In other words, it's kind of situations that are beyond your control. It can also be about everyone trying to, maybe you're in a group, a work project, and you are the leader, okay? And everybody's trying to, you've got this new thing coming in, and all of the people that you're working with, you're the leader. Everybody's got their own idea about the way things should be going. So this could be arguments, it could be fights, it could be delays, any kind of obstacles and hassles. And because I have just the 1-5 here, but it is opposed or juxtaposed by the 7 of Wands. And we can see that there's somebody in a position, a higher position, who is trying to beat back either the naysayers or all of the opinions coming in, or someone who's trying to maintain their position, and they're really dealing with a lot of things. But 7s represent an internal conflict, okay? It's two separate, and here we have Saturn and Leo. Saturn, again, as I said, is that Leo is a big, gregarious, outgoing energy. It is backed up by the sun, so this could be about lots of people's egos getting in the way, and those two energies don't really mix together. Here we have Mars in Leo, and Mars is actually the planet of war and aggression. In other words, this is what puts you on the fighting path, okay? This is your determination, your spirit to just go ahead and do whatever it is that you know you need to do, regardless of whatever the situations, the circumstances, and the other output or input that's coming in. And perhaps what this 6 of coins is speaking about is trying to find a balance between the two. Because as we can see, he's holding the scales. Okay, I don't know, I got a crappy camera. But there are the scales. And the scales are all about trying to balance out so that everything can at least work. We just want the things to work. They don't have to work perfectly, but you want it to work. But at the same time, what I'm looking at is one person in a position of authority, so to speak, and he is giving all of his money or his time and his attention to one individual and someone else being left out. So this could simply be that you've been working a lot, you've got new projects come up, and maybe you feel, maybe there have been some other areas in your life that are lacking at the moment. What's odd to me is this High Priestess, and she represents the moon, okay? And the moon is, again, about those things that make us feel loved and nurtured, safe and warm. It is a haven. It represents mothers. It represents the emotions. It represents our deep, hidden psychological things that may come up. The High Priestess is, as a person, is going to be someone who is extremely knowledgeable. She may be a librarian, or she handles a lot of documents, or she knows a lot of things. She is the kind of person that you can go to and ask for advice. She's not going to necessarily volunteer her advice on the ready, but she sees a lot. She doesn't say a lot. Okay. Um, that's an odd card. And it also represents intuition. She's a very, very intuitive and psychic individual. Okay. Knows a lot of things. And has this uncanny ability perhaps to see ahead. Okay. Um, she's followed up here in the past row by this Seven of Wands. So what I'm picking up from this particular row of the past, this vertical column of the past, is that there has been something new that's come in. And maybe this is a project and you're kind of sitting on it and you're not saying anything about it. Okay. You're trying to get your bearings about how you want to go. You may be a bit conflicted by that because these wands may not even be coming, typically with the seven, it doesn't. These are coming from things coming up from the surface. Maybe this is, well, you know, I don't have time to work on this because I got to do that, or that didn't work out for me in the past. So, you know, I might have to put that down. This is just a lot of things coming up from the surface. And a lot of times the way I read the wands is it is more associated as well, like the cups. It's an emotional component. It is that drive, that spirit, that ambition, that desire to do whatever it is you want to do. And with the Leo, being in Leo, what this tells me is that I feel that it's something tied to your either your reputation or your standing, because Capricorn represents the 10th house. So this is going to be your public reputation, your public appearance. It's going to deal with your public position, and that's kind of what I'm getting here. You know, I don't see any cups here. This is what I find to be quite strange. Doesn't mean that this is not a romantic relationship, but it kind of looks like it's a life, career kind of a issue. A lot of you, I know that, you know, Capricorn is a very ambitious sign. And I say that, and a lot of people look at ambition as being an ugly word, and it's really not. It is good to be ambitious. That means that you have higher expectations, and you want better things for yourself, or you want to achieve more things. This is about setting goals for yourself and then doing what is necessary to get from here to there. See, the coins represent the actual, it's on the physical plane. So it is actually the physical doing of something. And I think that for some of you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Risings out there, you are sitting on perhaps an idea. And this idea may be where you may have to devote all of your time or do all of the work to someone else. Maybe this is you getting a job and you've been handed this project and you're going to have to do all the work so far. Well, you know, depending on which side of this guy you're standing on, depends on how that's going to go. But, and if that's the case, you're struggling with the fact that, you know, I've been doing all of the work and I'm not receiving fair compensation for that. And you maybe are thinking about moving or taking your project elsewhere. I see that this is a thought. This is something that you're contemplating and you have not said. This is about, in a sense, I'm getting, it's kind of like working behind the scenes here. Something like what I'm doing. This represents the time of Sun in Capricorn. So right around the 19th when this ends. And I think this is, with this Seven of Wands, this is about perhaps fighting within yourself of whether or not you want to, what should I do? Because the Four of Pentacles can be about holding on to the gains that you have now before investing them in the future. So this could be about a conflict of whether or not what you're going to do or the way in which you want to do it is the best way to go about doing it. It could also speak to knowing that something needs to change. You're going to have to take some of whatever your investments is. And this is not just about money and financial investment. This is going to be an emotional investment, a mental investment, a spiritual investment, and not wanting to share those things with other people. It could be that, you know, now is not the right time, but this could also be someone who's being rather stingy about whatever gifts that they have to offer. Now, the Seven of Swords comes up, and the Seven of Swords traditionally is interpreted as lies, spying, deceit, deception, hidden things. There are swords, so this is communication, thoughts, perception, ideas, and beliefs. The Two Swords, you see someone sneaking away in broad daylight. Again, I have this. This could be that you have come up with a great idea, you shared it with somebody and they stole it from you. This can be sometimes intellectual property. This could be about plagiarism, not citing your sources. So if this is some kind of research project, okay, then this card is warning you or giving you advice that you need to check your research, cite your sources, make sure that, and give credit where credit is due. Don't take people's ideas in whatever manner that is and claim them as your own. This could be what this fight is all about. Maybe these people are really have some good ideas, but you're not willing to listen to them. You're coming up with your own ideas, perhaps feeling that yours are going to be better. The warning, the message with this Four of Pentacles is to hold those thoughts, hold on to what you're doing. Don't necessarily make any rash judgments because it could get you in a lot of trouble. Okay? This is a strange reading to come out for Capricorn, but because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Now I have three moon cards here. So perhaps for some of you, this is an issue that has come up around the new moon that we had in Pisces or Cancer, I'm sorry, on the 12th. But we also have a new moon coming up, as I said, in Aquarius on the 28th. That is this card. Okay. So whatever this situation is, it may started playing out for some of you at the beginning of January. For others of you, it will either come to a culmination by January. This could be something even back before, some months back, some idea, some project you've been kind of waiting or holding on to, and maybe now it's going to come to some kind of fruition here at the end of January. For others of you, this could be about, if this hasn't occurred, then it's definitely going to come up starting around the end of January for you. And we have this Jupiter in Libra. Now, Jupiter in Libra represents an abundance of opportunities in terms of partnership. So what Jupiter in Libra does is it brings lots of partners or potential partners. This could be former, current, and future partners into view. It kind of starts shedding a light on partnership. In the romantic sense, this could be you being involved with someone and not knowing that they have somebody else on the side. Okay. This could be you having a choice between two or three or more people. But it also speaks to that in terms of work projects, any type of partnerships. You see, Libra represents the 7th house, and although that's traditionally known as the house of marriage, it is simply the house of partnership, okay? But it also is the house of open enemies. So in other words, as an example, I've been in business with someone for the past, 15 years, and now we've got different ideas about in which direction we want to take the business. And now it has become contentious. So now we're openly fighting. This could be about being in a marriage or a committed relationship and a third party coming in, or you finding out that the person that either you've been doing something shady or they've been doing something shady. And now it has become contentious. You're having open arguments and open fights in public. That's the public part of the house. Once the descendant, the top part of the natal chart, that's all the public. This is what's happening out where everybody can see it. Everything below the ascendant and the descendant are things that happen in private, behind closed doors, so to speak. So, now 2 6s speak to, I think, justifiable faith in a partner. Let me double check that for you. And this is in a romantic sense, but because we want to just look at partnerships in general, we're going to apply this meaning to, I got it wrong. Well, it's 2 interpretations. In a love relationship or romantic relationship, 2 6s speak to issues surrounding equality may affect the relationship. And this is why we have the 6 of coins here. We want to take a look at the 2 7s here, okay? 2 7s say self-confidence issues may cause instability in the relationship. So in other words, if you're being treated unfairly, maybe someone's saying something to you that's making you doubt your abilities or the way you feel about yourself. We do have this swords here. We do have this fighting here, this conflict going on both outside and inside. So this could be maybe someone saying things to you, making you feel bad, or they are demonstrating to you that they don't value what you have to give or what you have to offer. Instability and inequality. And that's what Jupiter is in Libra is all about. It is about finding the balance. There are the scales there. Now, the 2 aces talk about a new partnership. And maybe for some of you, depending on which side of the coin that you fall, this could literally be, excuse me, a third party has come into the relationship. She can sometimes represent the unknown woman or the hidden woman, the woman that you didn't know anything about. See here? And that is coming to light. And this has been causing lots of angry fights and bitterness. And we see people lying and deceiving each other, trying to get away. And that's the thing about this 7 of Swords, is that person is doing what they're doing in broad daylight. So this is someone who feels as though either they don't care anymore if they get caught, okay, or they're trying to they're doing it out in the open, but they're telling you that you're making it up, that you don't believe, that what you're lying, you're crazy, it doesn't, you know. And this could be for male or female, same sex or heterosexual, but that person is doing it in broad daylight, and maybe this right here, this row here, the 5 of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the 7 is saying that this is now coming to light here, because the aces are all about, this Ace of Swords is about communications and clarity and realizations. And this could be you finally realizing, shit, the clues and the answers have been there in front of me all along. But someone wants to maintain their position that, you know, you're making it up. It's an illusion or a delusion. Now, the moon in Aquarius is not a good energy, because Aquarius is all about groups. This could be you finding out that somebody in the group or your friendships or someone that you consider to be a very, very close friend has been having an affair with your partner. They've been sleeping together, because this represents groups. That's what Aquarius represents. This could be, if it's a work situation, about finding out that someone within your group at work has been going behind your back, trying to undermine you. They're trying to score points for themselves. See, the aces are yes cards. The aces are yeses. So I'm getting yeses here. you know, and what you ended up thinking was a victory for you turns out to be descending into chaos. Okay. And now maybe you are trying to figure out what is your best course of action. You haven't made any determination yet. Okay. You're just kind of holding on to where you are. You know, maybe I'm not going to say anything because she's silent. She doesn't say anything. And she just watches. You know that old saying, you know, give people enough rope, they'll hang themselves? Okay. And maybe that's the advice of the cards. She just kind of play it cool and wait. Now let's look at the other interpretation of the double meanings. And then I'm going to come back and give you the fours. Now, I just want to look at the actual numerology of it. And see, right now we have Saturn in Sagittarius. There's a lot. There's Mercury in Sagittarius. There's Saturn in Sagittarius. Uranus is in Aries right now. So let's take a look at the sixes. I'm going to look at those planetary. Well, first let's take a look at the seven since I accidentally hit that. So 2 sevens in a spread warns of false friends. Remember I was saying this is, you're going to, I think for some of you, you're going to find out that somebody in the group that you hang out with, a group of friends, has been double dealing behind your back. Okay. Sometimes I see this card as the player card, somebody playing both sides against the middle, trying to see what they can get away with. Okay. And they've been getting away with something. Now, let's go back and look at the 2 sixes. The 2 sixes says, having justifiable faith and trust in your partner. Remember, I said that at the beginning. That's one of the meanings that I know. So it's almost like the cards are saying, you know, you've been operating under the pretense or believing that and showing someone justifiable faith and trust, and that there's somebody in your midst, though, who doesn't have your best interest at heart. It may not be the partner that you're with. And it could be that you might be accusing your partner in whatever manner this is, if it's work, familial, friendship, romantic, and you've been accusing someone or thinking that someone's doing something behind your back when it really is not them. It's actually somebody else that probably you didn't even think about, okay? It will be somebody who's been watching and waiting and planning. If this is you suspecting that your partner has been lying and cheating, then I would dare to say that that may be coming out to be true. Okay. Now, this can play out in lots of ways. We want to take a look at the fours. Here, we do have, they don't fall in the spread together, and this is the overall energy. The 2 fours in one respect speak of a safe and secure time. So remember I was saying, it's like, you know, you want to do something, you're not sure what it is you're supposed to do, so maybe you're just kind of biding your time and you're making, you yourself are making plans in secret. It could also be somebody else making plans in secret, and you may not see something coming, but maybe some of you are getting inklings. Your intuition is telling you that something is not right. If that's the case, please trust that. You're getting that feeling for a reason. It's not always necessary that you have to act or to counteract. Sometimes you just have to wait. It's called being strategic. You know, it just depends. Now, for others of you, it says 2 aces in a spread will often tell of a wedding. I don't know if that means anything to you. And this could be, you find out, maybe this is somebody you broke up with and you thought maybe you've run into them again, or maybe, you know, whatever. and maybe you find out suddenly that the person is about to get married to somebody else, or at least enter into some type of committed type of relationship. Um, the other meaning of 2 4s is a home move. Maybe, and I have seen this card come up as a home move. That is actually one of the old 13th century interpretations. Maybe some of you want to move home. You've been thinking about it. Maybe you haven't had the finances to do so yet. Um, maybe you've had to argue, with the bank or the realtor or the person who's selling the house, or trying to move some things around so that you can actually afford to do that. Um, and the 2 aces again speak to a new kind of a partnership or wedding. So this could be a partnership, and it's not just necessarily about matrimonial, because sometimes some people who are not married or not in committed relationships and aren't really looking for that thing can be married to their jobs or whatever causes that they have in their life. So it just depends for everybody. Um, what bothers me the most is this, because this says that whatever trials or tribulations that you've gone through or you will be looking at in the future, okay, you do have the determination to fight through that. You're a Capricorn. You have that. And it may be that there's some idea or some new project that you're working on, even if it's a home move, and maybe you shouldn't tell anybody about it right now for whatever reason. False friends, there's dual messages here. And so what this can mean is that in one area of your life, there are people that you can't trust. And in another area of your life, there is somebody that you can trust. And that can be highly, highly confusing. I would think so. So the Four of Swords says that if you've been in a fight or a conflict with anybody, take a step back from that. take a rest. Excuse me. And regain your resources, your mental strength, your emotional strength, your spiritual strength, your physical strength. Regain that, because there's something that's going to be coming up that's going to require you perhaps to jump back into the fray. Or you can choose not to jump back in the fray. You can choose to do something completely different. But it is about mental rest. It's about reflection. And taking a time out before you move forward in whatever it is. And I do see that you're trying, some of you are trying to move forward in some areas of your life, but either somebody else is thwarting you or you have misplaced your trust. That could be it. Or someone has taken advantage of your good nature. I want to take a look first at the High Priestess and what she's trying to say. Now, what I am getting is there's definite changes that have come about for some of you around the full moon on the 12th of January, the one in Cancer. And there will be changes coming up for some of you around the new moon in Aquarius on January 28th. Okay? And that's our timing here. I don't like to do timing in the tarot because it's really relative. It may not play out exactly on those dates, but know that there's some things that have either come to light that you can either celebrate, and those positive things are perhaps causing a little bit of havoc in your life. For others of you, you may think that everything is hunky-dory, and then you're going to find out that they're not. So in either case, the overall energy of the Four is asking you to take a step back so that you can be prepared to do whatever it is that you need to do going forward. Let's look at the High Priestess. For some of you, it's something that you've been waiting on, you've been longing for or hoping for. This is the longing, the sighing, the waiting. The donna de servizio, she's positive. She is like an action card, a verb, and she comes in. She's a helper. This is about doing errands and domestic work. She's a domestic, but she's a helper. And then we have the Kaza. So if some of you have been waiting to hear back, let's say on a loan, or to move into a home, perhaps what this is saying is that the news is going to finally come. You haven't really heard anything, and you've been maybe worried about whether or not it was going to come through. Perhaps these cards are saying that, you know, you're finally going to hear something and it's going to be positive. You've been waiting a long time, and maybe you are going to get your new abode. Remember, that's what the moon represents. The moon represents your home, your homeland, your family, those people and places that hold you. It also traces back to your mother, the maternal family tree. So it could also be saying that someone in your family line or like that can come in and give you the advice that you've been needing in order to move forward. I'm going to take a look at, let's look at the Seven of Swords. For some of you, this could actually be, you get the news that somebody that you're in a relationship with, you finally get the news that maybe they have been stepping outside of the relationship. Well, it may be difficult to look at it from this standpoint now. Maybe some of you are going, okay, now I finally know the truth of the situation. I've been waiting for it. And in one respect, that has helped you. And it could also be that even though that's a third party that may come in and you look at them like a homewrecker, it's actually designed to help you. Particularly if somebody's been making you feel bad about yourself or not being supportive of you. I mean, that could be your out. And if that's the case, take it and run. I mean, this can even play out in a work situation as well. So, you know, sometimes that's the way things you have. It depends on how you look at it and how you view it. So let's see. The Seven of Swords. Now, if some of you have been having a relationship with a married Capricorn, if you've been having an affair, a secret affair, because as you can see, the person is constrained. They're constrained because they either are married or they have family obligations or they have things that they're supposed to be doing in terms of care of other people. And then we have the Amalato, the sick person. And to me, it kind of says either you're going to find out after you've been in this affair with this individual for a long time that they're not going to leave. They may not be leaving because somebody in their family needs to be taken care of. They're going to honor, in one respect, their obligation, because you can see they've got those 5 swords there. And that's where their thoughts are resting. Okay, they haven't made a determination about what they're going to do about you yet. But what the cards are saying is that you're going to find out that the person is not going to leave, as they have been telling you all along. And this could be you being very, very upset by the fact that somebody has gone back on their word. This is an odd reading. And again, I don't see any cups here. I just see a lot of passion and emotion, but there are no cups. No cups. And cups represent deep emotions, but maybe that's why the High Priestess has come out, because it is such a level of emotion that cups can't even explain it. It's the moon. And that's the only 2 in the spread. And what's funny is I have 2 6s, 2 aces, 2 4s, and 2 7s. So this is about some kind of partnership in some way, shape, or form. It could even be something as simple as a third person showing up to join your business or your firm, or somebody suddenly brings in somebody that you didn't know anything about. They've been working with them behind the scenes all along. Let's look at this five of Wands here. This is a crazy spread. Yeah. Things coming into being brought to bear that have detracted away from what should have been some kind of pleasant conversation or negotiation here. The dilettante, and maybe this is people fighting like children, people losing their cool, behaving in a bad way, stupid actions and stupid behaviors. Maybe this is about allowing other people, egos coming in and disrupting, because that's what the fives represent. It's a destabilizing energy coming in and stealing time away, or the energy around having some kind of positive negotiations. This could even be you or the people that you're dealing with wanting to continue to put their 2 cents worth and not wanting to budge away from stupid actions and stupid behaviors. This is an odd trio of cards. Maybe this is things coming in and you haven't had the time to actually have the conversation that you need to have. Okay? And maybe this is why there's arguments. It's stupid to be arguing over this. It's just the timing is not right. We have the thief here, the yard drawer, someone stealing away conversations, quality time perhaps. And this is making everybody crazy and behave in bad ways. Let's look at this 7. Then I'm going to pull, I'm just going to pull an angel answer card. I know that many of you have been waiting quite some time. See, what y'all don't know is that I did the December 2016 videos back in November. So for those of you who've been getting all kind of upset, well, she ain't doing monthlies no more. That December monthly was posted. Go back to the December playlist and you will see it. I did it because I knew I had to be working on some other things in December. So go back and check out your monthly. It was posted in December. It was posted in November. So go back to the December playlist and look at the December 2016 monthlies for your sign. The 3 cards are the Consolante Sorpresa, the Lamante female lover, or the shy woman who hides her emotions, and then the man of letters, or the scientist. This is the researcher. But this card is about a discovery. It is about looking back over something, looking at perhaps the clues, reading books, learning, falling on the 7 of Wands. This card saying that something happening or something occurring, a discovery that perhaps was just in the past, it was deemed as not good enough. It's a consolation. Well, here, you didn't win first place, so here's second place. Or, I like you as a friend, but I don't want to have a romantic relationship with you. Okay? Why? I don't see myself doing that. I don't feel it. The Wands. I'm not willing to put the work in for that. But now we see that there's a discovery about this. Now, because it falls on the 7 of Swords, that means it's somebody thinking about, they're having a conflict over whatever this was about. This is not to say that the person is a reconsideration. It very well could be. But it could also be simply about the person taking a look at themselves, perhaps in the manner in which they behaved, the Wands, perhaps in the manner in which maybe they spoke to you, perhaps in the manner in which their thoughts are coming up, perhaps in the manner that maybe it wasn't the right time and they had a lot of other things on their plate. But this could also apply to you. And if this is about a lover, and that maybe you met someone and you put forth an offer, you were really ready to go through with it, but things came in and then there was fights and the communications broke down. It could very well be because the person wasn't in the right place at the right time. Maybe they had a lot of other obligations. They didn't even share them with you, and maybe it made it look like there was something shady going on, in which case there could be. There could have been another woman in the picture. Or another choice or option. I think you might be able, if you step away from this, the cards are saying that there may be a double act. I keep saying that. Doesn't mean that you're going to have the kind of relationship that you wanted, but you may be able to repair perhaps whatever damage was done, if there was any damage. Okay. For some of you, you ain't giving it no more thought. I think depends. Whatever the situation, the card says there's no need to worry. Okay? Whatever that means for you. There's no need to worry. So rest. Take a break. And whatever you've come through, pat yourself on the back. And if moving forward you're going to be coming up through some trials and tribulations, the cards say that you will indeed be able to surmount those obstacles. And again, there's no need to worry. So that's what I have for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, for January 2017. You can always come over to the website underneath the YouTube comments and share whether or not this resonated with you. It looks like it's a bunch of stuff going on. Kind of like where you pull one thread and then another part of the garment unravels. That's kind of what it looks like. So until next time, namaste.